This is a white man's game. Get that through your thick monkey skull!
Look at me, baby.
Can you control your temper? A black man in white baseball. Can you imagine the reaction? What are you gonna do then? Fight him? Answer me!
You want a player who doesn't have the guts to fight back?
I want a player who's got the guts not to fight back.
Well, we got a petition going on, Stank.
I don't care if he is yellow or black or has stripes like a zebra.
I didn't come here to make friends. I know who I am. I do not want them to beat me.
They're never gonna beat you.
One day, a baseball player named Jackie Robinson just wanted to use the restroom, but the white owner of the establishment blocked him, solely because of his black skin. But Jackie refused to compromise with injustice like other black folks did back then.
Take that hose out of the tank. We'll get our 99 gallons of gas someplace else.
The owner stared at him in utter disbelief. Faced with a black man holding his ground so fiercely, the owner finally swallowed his white pride and bowed his head. After all, nobody walks away from cold, hard cash. However, the moment Jackie stepped outside, he was completely surrounded by a mob of hostile white men. Shortly after, Jackie was brought into a corporate office. Across the desk sat Branch Rickey, the owner of the Brooklyn Dodgers baseball club. Despite being white, Rickey absolutely despised racial segregation. There were 400 registered players in the major leagues, yet not a single spot was given to a black man. Rickey wanted to shatter this prejudice and give elite, talented black ball players a stage to showcase their skills. That's why he handpicked the exceptionally talented Jackie Robinson. On paper, this decision didn't violate any laws at the time, but it crossed a massive, unwritten line in the industry. Recruiting a black man into the majors was nothing short of declaring war on the entire league, but Rickey couldn't care less.
Colors aren't black and white. They're green.
Rickey told Jackie that before signing the major league contract, he would first have to play for the club's minor league farm team. Only if his performance was spectacular would he be called up to the Dodgers. And there was one non-negotiable condition. Jackie had to control his temper. He had to have the guts not to fight back when struck, and not to answer back when insulted. Rickey warned him that discrimination would track him everywhere. He would be kicked out of hotels, restaurants would refuse to serve him. While his teammates slept in comfortable hotel beds, he would be left with nothing but dirty, cramped coal bins. Even when subjected to the deepest insults and prejudice, he had to take it on the chin and choke it down, because Rickey needed him to prove to the world that a black man could be a true gentleman and become the greatest baseball player in history. The terms Rickey offered were highly lucrative, $600 a month, plus a massive $3,500 signing bonus. But he also made it clear that this would be a brutal, uphill battle, telling Jackie he could choose to walk away right now. Jackie stared at the wall covered in signed contracts, turned around, and said without a shred of hesitation, "Just give me a uniform and give me a number." The next day, Jackie and his wife prepared to fly out to Brooklyn, but because his wife mistakenly walked into a white-only restroom, the racist ticket agent immediately revoked their flight and transferred their tickets to a white couple. Jackie stepped up to confront him.
Do you want to call the sheriff?
Left with no choice, they had to take a grueling bus ride, enduring endless transfers, before finally arriving in Brooklyn, where they stayed with his agent, Wendell, in a segregated black neighborhood on the outskirts of town. During his very first training session, Jackie put his mind-blowing skills on full display, turning a brilliant double play. Yet, his own head coach looked at him with nothing but disgust, purely because he was black. The coach's toxic attitude forced Rickey to issue a final, stern warning.
You will either manage Robinson fairly and correctly, or you, sir, can be unemployed.
Faced with his boss's uncompromising iron fist, the coach quickly tucked away his arrogance. To get Jackie acclimated as fast as possible, Rickey arranged an exhibition game. The stadium crowd was starkly divided into black and white sections. The white fans screamed at Jackie to get the hell out, while the black fans quietly prayed that he would play an absolute masterpiece. Jackie didn't care about their flying spit, nor did he care if the pitcher hurled a fastball directly at his face. Jackie's mere presence made everyone in the stadium incredibly uncomfortable, and the air was thick with non-stop racial slurs. But incredibly, Jackie's mental fortitude remained rock solid. The opposing pitcher intentionally threw 4 consecutive balls out of the strike zone to vent his frustration, walking Jackie. Despite the deafening boos roaring from the white stands, Jackie easily executed hit after hit. The opposing pitcher completely broke down mentally. On his final pitch, his hand slipped under the crushing pressure, essentially handing Jackie the final game-winning run on a silver platter. Just like that, in his very first game, Jackie dominated the field and led his team to a blowout victory. Unlike the roaring cheers exploding from the black stands, the white section fell dead silent. Only the owner, Branch Rickey, stood up to applaud Jackie. Late that night, a white elder crept to their door, warning them to take Jackie and run before things turned ugly. Upon hearing this, Rickey ordered them to pack up and evacuate immediately to avoid a violent confrontation. However, they were one step too late. A mob had already set up a roadblock, inspecting every passing vehicle. Seeing the threat closing in, Wendell slammed his foot on the gas and blasted right through them. Jackie didn't understand why they were running, thinking the team was trying to cut him. He burst out laughing. It turned out Jackie's mental toughness was far greater than anyone had imagined. All that racial malice was nothing but a walk in the park to him. Yet, the true hardships were only just beginning. During a high-stakes game in Florida, right when Jackie had successfully stolen 2 bases and was on the verge of clutching the win, a local police officer marched onto the field to drive him out. The officer stated that under local segregation laws, a black man was forbidden from playing on the same field as white men, threatening, "If you don't get off this field right now, I'm throwing you in jail." The coach stepped up to argue, but the officer firmly repeated that black people were legally banned from the venue. Left with no options, Jackie was forced to make an early exit, and without him, the team suffered a crushing defeat. But on the way back, a white man came charging toward him aggressively. Jackie immediately stepped forward, shielding his wife behind his back.
I want you to know I'm pulling for you to make good. If a man's got the goods, he deserves a fair chance, that's all.
Driven by Jackie's spectacular performance, Rickey finally makes the executive decision to call him up to the Dodgers. Alongside his explosive excitement, Jackie can't help but ask the million-dollar question, why choose a black ball player? Rickey smiles and tells him that elite talent should never be buried. He urges Jackie to have the courage to challenge injustice, declaring that they need to break down the walls of prejudice in people's hearts together. As Jackie is about to board the train to the big leagues, a crowd of kids who view him as their ultimate idol gather to see him off. He tosses his baseball to one of the little black boys in the crowd. Decades later, because of this exact baseball, that little boy would grow up to lead his own team to a World Series championship. Soon, Jackie gears up for his official Major League debut. While every other player gets a personalized wooden locker, Jackie is assigned nothing but a lone coat hanger crammed right next to the restroom. But to him, the disrespect doesn't matter. What matters is that he finally has his own jersey and his own number. As the first black player in the history of the major leagues, sports journalists swarm the venue, while the stadium stands, present a chaotic scene of pure polarization, exploding with roaring encouragement on one side and toxic racial slurs on the other. Fortunately, Jackie is completely unfazed by the noise. His only focus is to use a blowout victory to shut his critics up. But disaster strikes. Despite launching a mind-blowing home run in his first at-bat, the umpire, blinded by racial prejudice, actually robs him of the play, reversing the call and ruling Jackie out. Hoping to force the squad to bond and accept Jackie, Rickey organizes a road trip for the team to play exhibition games in Panama, where the population is predominantly black. But right there in Panama, several teammates mutiny, launching a signed petition demanding management cut Jackie from the roster, claiming that sharing a field with a black man is a complete disgrace. Receiving the letter, Rickey makes a late-night long-distance call to the manager, ordering him to ruthlessly discipline the players who signed. The manager instantly calls an emergency team meeting, aggressively laying down the law. He tells them that he doesn't care what color Jackie's skin is. As long as Jackie can win baseball games, he has a rightful spot on this roster. He warns them that Jackie is only the first, and that the club will continue to sign hungry, elite, talented ball players of every color. He finishes with a brutal ultimatum. If anyone still has a problem with it, they can pack their bags and get the hell out. Upon their return, Jackie's agent notices that the sheer, crushing pressure has left Jackie looking visibly depressed. To lift his spirits, the agent opens up to him saying, "Look, you are not fighting this war alone." He reveals that his own lifelong dream was to be a sports journalist, but white editors barred him from ever stepping foot inside a traditional newsroom. To keep his dream alive, he had no choice but to carry a heavy typewriter into the chaotic, noisy stadium stands just to file his columns. The two men look at each other and share a profound, knowing smile. However, during a high-stakes series against Philadelphia, the opposing team's manager exhibits a complete lack of human decency, launching an unhinged, non-stop barrage of personal racist attacks against Jackie from the dugout. He even signals his pitcher to throw dangerous beanballs right at Jackie's face. The first time, Jackie takes a hard fall trying to dodge the ball. The second time, the pitcher pulls the exact same stunt, to the point where even Ricky, watching from the luxury box, can't bear to look anymore. On the third pitch, a strike finally comes down the middle, but Jackie, his mental state completely rattled, pops the ball straight into an infielder's glove, getting thrown out. But the Philadelphia manager refuses to stop, turning up the heat and starting to scream horrific curses at Jackie's wife and newborn child. This cracks Jackie's breaking point. Charging back into the narrow tunnel behind the dugout, he grabs a teammate's bat, his entire body trembling with pure rage. Yet, his final shred of sanity tells him that this is exactly what the enemy wants. A trap designed to provoke him into a violent outburst, so the league can ban him for life. As he breaks down, Ricky rushes into the tunnel, desperately trying to steady his star player's emotions. He tells him, "You have to get back out there and play ball. You have to get on base, score runs, and win this game. You are the cure, Jackie. You are the only one who can shatter their white arrogance and prejudice. My own peers are completely isolating me in the front office, but I'm still standing right here, and I know you can too." In a rare, tender moment, the boss gives his subordinate a tight, reassuring hug. Calming his breathing, Jackie finally returns to the field. The opposing manager's toxic shouting resumes instantly, but this time, Jackie's teammates have seen enough. They leap out of the dugout, marching right up to the opposing coach to fiercely defend Jackie. This marks the exact moment Jackie feels genuine acceptance from his squad for the very first time. His confidence fully restored, Jackie connects with a pitch and hits the ground running like an absolute lightning bolt, sending the entire stadium into a frenzy. Anticipating every single defensive movement, he steals base after base, ultimately sliding across home plate at the final second to lock in a one-run victory. While thunderous applause ripples through the stands, Jackie silently walks back and sits in the dugout. Following the game, sports writers ruthlessly crucify the opposing manager in the press. Buckling under immense public backlash, the Philadelphia coach is forced to issue a public apology to Jackie in front of a sea of reporters. When the time comes to shake hands for the cameras, Jackie senses the coach's intense humiliation and reluctance. Thinking fast, Jackie grabs a baseball bat, suggesting they each hold one end of it, successfully capturing that iconic, barrier-breaking photograph. However, in the very next match, an opposing pitcher intentionally hurls a fastball directly at Jackie's forehead. Jackie takes a brutal hit, collapsing to the turf instantly, but this time, he is no longer alone. The entire Dodgers roster clears the bench in a heartbeat, charging onto the field to throw down and fight for Jackie. Sitting on the dirt, Jackie stares at his teammates, completely unable to believe the brotherhood unfolding before his eyes. On the bus ride home, his wife breaks down into tears, her heart aching for his safety. Jackie comforts her gently, saying, "It's okay, honey. They're just ignorant, that's all." But the next day, the team captain marches into the owner's office, handing Ricky a letter and stating he can no longer defend Jackie because his own family has just received graphic death threats. But to his absolute shock, Ricky looks at the letter and lets out a contemptuous laugh. He reaches down, pulls open a desk drawer, and dumps out stack after stack of letters. He reveals that for every single run Jackie scores on the field, he receives over 300 death threats. Yet, he has never once thought about quitting. Reading the vile, horrifying words on Jackie's letters, screaming things like, "Get out of baseball, or your baby boy will die." The captain is struck by a wave of profound shame. He finally realizes that Jackie has been silently carrying a mountain of agony for the entire squad, making his own fears look utterly insignificant. Returning to the field once again, the relentless, toxic heckling from the stands shows no sign of stopping. But this time, the white team captain, Pee Wee Reese, runs straight toward Jackie right through the storm of slurs. He comforts him, saying, "Don't listen to them. We came here to play ball." Then, Reese famously wraps his arm around Jackie's shoulder, standing shoulder to shoulder with his teammate, to stare down the hateful glares of tens of thousands of racists. With this silent, powerful act, they show the entire world that a white man and a black man can stand together and rely on one another. After every single game, Jackie used to wait out in the dugout until all his teammates finished cleaning up before he would even step foot into the locker room. But tonight, a teammate awkwardly but warmly invites him to hit the showers with the rest of the guys. At long last, he has truly become an undeniable part of this team. With only 3 games left on the schedule, the Dodgers are on the absolute precipice of crowning themselves champions. But then, disaster strikes on the diamond. While Jackie is covering his base, an opposing runner intentionally and viciously spikes Jackie's calf with his razor-sharp cleats. The agonizing, ripping pain instantly forces Jackie to the ground in pure torment. A collective gasp of shock ripples through the stands, and his teammates rush to the bag to check on him, immediately plotting to retaliate and spike the other team back. But Jackie stops them cold. This game is far too critical. He tells them that winning this game fair and square, under the bright lights, is the ultimate and sweetest revenge they could ever take. Jackie is treated in the training room, where Ricky arrives with an exhilarating piece of news. He discovered that more and more white children out on the streets are actively mimicking Jackie's iconic batting stance. This is, without a doubt, the dawn of a historical shift. However, when Jackie asks the burning question one more time, why he chose to sign a black player, Ricky falls dead silent. After a long moment of deep reflection, he finally reveals the secret he has kept locked away in his heart for decades. He loves this game. He has poured his entire life's blood into the game of baseball. But over 40 years ago, back when he was a young college coach, he scouted an exceptionally gifted black hitter. That player was ruthlessly ostracized, degraded, and broken by everyone around him solely because of the color of his skin. Back then, Ricky had neither the power nor the courage to extend a helping hand, and he was forced to watch that young man completely break down and commit suicide. Now, all these years later, he finally has the power to fight back against that very injustice.
You let me love baseball again.
Jackie does not let his owner's profound faith go to waste. In the final stretch of the season, he delivers one spectacular performance after another, earning the deep, unshakable respect of everyone in the game. The Dodgers stand united, showcasing unprecedented courage, while an entire generation of children now look up to Jackie as their ultimate hero. The Brooklyn Dodgers are an unstoppable freight train, barreling down the tracks toward the championship. As the pennant race reaches a fever pitch, Jackie finally leads his squad into the ultimate, decisive game. Facing his old rival pitcher, who tries to pull his usual dirty tricks, Jackie takes 3 consecutive balls. Standing at the plate, Jackie actively challenges the pitcher, daring him to throw a strike. The pitcher slowly bends down, his eyes locked on Jackie, burning with nothing but pure hatred. The moment the ball is hurled toward the plate with everything the pitcher has left, Jackie meets it in absolute peak form. With a crack of the bat, it's a deep home run. The Dodgers win the pennant. Jackie trots around the bases with an effortless, majestic stride, every single step echoing like a perfectly struck note on the piano of victory. Calm, composed, and completely certain. Up in the stands, even the white spectators erupt, leaping to their feet and throwing their hands in the air, sending the entire stadium into a state of absolute euphoria. Whenever that number 42 jersey takes the field, it always brings a miracle of a comeback. That striking number, just like the name on his back, is destined to leave a blazing, permanent mark on the pages of human history. This is a cinematic masterpiece adapted from an extraordinary true story. Jackie Robinson completed his legendary rookie season with an astonishing stat line of 31 double plays and 12 home runs. Branch Rickey was rightfully inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame in 1967. The team captain, Pee Wee Reese, who proudly stood shoulder to shoulder with Jackie, later became a highly accomplished coach. The arrogant, racist manager who hurled slurs from the dugout was permanently fired after that season. As for the little boy who chased Jackie's train, he grew up to stand on the podium as a World Series champion in 1969. Over the course of his illustrious Major League career, Jackie Robinson was a 6-time All-Star and led his team to multiple championships. After Jackie finally retired from the sport, Major League Baseball made history by permanently retiring the number 42 jersey across every single team in the league, while officially declaring April 15th as annual Jackie Robinson Day.